Good evening to DeFiChain News on the 9th November 2022, the news show that provides you with the latest updates on DeFiChain project. If you like the show, then let's go crazy on the like button. It helps the project. Subscribe and click the bell button. And stay until the end because we will discuss the next shows and dates. But before we start with the headlines, I would like to welcome my co-moderator and expert of DeFiChain, Lord Mark. Good evening. Welcome to today's news show. Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Just a little bit small as it looks like. Something went wrong with our setting
Always
here.
playing in the background in the setting, but
My
yeah, I
God,
think that's okay.
everything is a little bit messy here. I think must be the market. Okay, so see, I'm floating in air. Now it looks better. Okay, my friend,
Mhm.
how are you today? Are you still relaxed or are you freaking out already?
I'm relaxed. I'm not following the market. The prices doesn't matter.
Best
Everything fine.
best thing to do. Fantastic.
But yeah, it is so. A couple of days we thought about the title of the show. Everything was okay, and today the complete situation changed, and the title should be a little bit different. But I think it's good to talk a little bit about things
Some
besides the price and
Completely agree. Completely.
outlook.
Let's not think about prices. Let's think about what's happening on DeFiChain. Are you ready for the headlines?
Sure,
Good. Then let's
let's
do that.
go. We start with the title of the show, the upcoming CFP and DFIP voting round on DeFiChain. Little summary what happened so far. Then our next bigger point is the upcoming Hardfork Grand Central. You mentioned it in the last show a little bit. Today we have some background information of it. Our notable mentions are also in this show. Community projects and their updates is another bigger point. Our community is pretty active and building around DeFiChain. And at the end, the future dates and what's coming next here on the channel.
Fantastic.
With
So,
this,
and for everybody
we
who hasn't figured it out, this is wearing a red shirt, just to demonstrating that we're having a red day.
a really red day. Yeah, okay. Then we have to talk a little bit about the prices. Totally crazy, or
Yeah,
Ethereum more than 20% loss in 24 hours.
that's extreme. I
Crazy.
mean, I don't want to say it, but DeFiChain is holding up quite strong at the moment, what makes me a little bit more relaxed. But it's a crazy day, yeah. Let's see. Everything's going to be
Mm.
good. Next year, we're going to look at the prices, hopefully, and say everything's
Yeah.
fine, nothing happened. Good.
Okay. Then we jump into our first topic, the upcoming CFP and DeFi voting round. So tell us a little bit what happened so far and what we can expect.
Absolutely. Let's do that. So the submission is closed, means we are nearing the voting start. So next week we're gonna have three YouTube shows where we do a little bit chit chat with the three most voted proposals, like I always say the favorites of the community, because the voting is gonna start on the 14th of November. That's in about 4 days time from now. And then the masternodes are able to vote for a week. So voting is going to conclude on the 21st of November. So what can they vote for? We have 15 CFPs, quite a big number this time, and 7 DFIPs. I think you mentioned it before. That's an absolutely new record. So a lot of people have ideas how we can improve DeFiChain. Let's see how that goes. That's going to be a really, really interesting one. The range of the CFPs, the community funding proposals, is quite wide. So it is the smallest proposal is under 4,000, so 3,569 to be precise, and the largest one is 1.2 million DFI. And this is the biggest one is for DeFi MetaChain, $1 million incubator program, also one of the highest ranked projects on Reddit. So we're gonna interview them, and then the two other candidates, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later in the show. Overall sum requested 1.86 million DFI. That's quite a mentionable or notable number. That's 6.5% of our current community fund. So that's a really juicy number, I think. Let's see how many projects gonna get approved by the masternode. So everybody who's eligible for voting, please cast your vote. It's a big one, and it's the last one of 2022. So really looking forward to a high participation of all masternodes. That's it. Cast your vote and help us to find the right decisions. Should they be funded or should they not be funded, and should the DFIPs be implemented, or at least should be worked on implementing them. That's it for the voting.
Thanks for the summary. Then we come from the current voting to the future voting and the procedure. The upcoming Hardfork Grand Central should include the on-chain governance. Tell us a little bit about the timeline and the features, or how it is working then in future.
Absolutely. Super smooth transition from one topic to another, DC. You're the full pro here already. Well done. So we mentioned that so many times that the next Hardfork's gonna bring a big change in the voting process. So Grand Central is a major release, 3.0, and let's talk a little bit first about maybe the dates. So this week is calendar week 45. The release candidate for the new node is gonna be released. It's gonna be end of the week. I mean, we're on Wednesday, Thursday already, so in the coming days. Then there's gonna be a jellyfish regression test before the 12th to 18th of November. Then the block height for the Hardfork gonna be set. This is also gonna happen more or less next week, that we really know when the Hardfork's gonna happen. Then the real node is gonna be released, to the final version of the software that you can update your masternode, and then there's gonna be a release announcement also next week. So then you know everything, you have got the software in your hands, and then you've got about 10 days until the Hardfork really happens. So please, if the software is then released, then please update your masternodes, and then you're gonna be ready for the next big Hardfork. So what's special about this Hardfork? So there are two things. First of all, if you own a masternode in the future, it's going to be possible to change not only your operator address, but all the addresses relevant for this masternode game. So this is especially important if you locked your masternode. In the past, you couldn't change the operator address. And what was the second one, what we just learned, DC?
The reward address and the owner address.
And the reward and the owner address. So these three addresses are changeable in the future. That makes it a little bit easier. But the really big thing is, and you mentioned it before, is the voting. So how do we gonna do voting in the future? We always spoke about on-chain governance. Why is it called on-chain governance? Because you're gonna cast your vote, and your masternode's gonna write this vote directly on the blockchain. The beauty of it is it's kind of transparent for everyone, and it cannot be changed at the later stage. So if the voting is concluded, everything is written on the blockchain. During the voting, you can change your mind from yes to no to maybe. This is all possible. So how is this gonna play out? What's the whole thing? At the moment, we were setting like dates where we're gonna do the next voting. In the future, is always gonna happen every 45 days. So actually not every 45 days, every 130,000 blocks. That's roughly 45 days. So you know when the next voting is gonna happen. So if a proposal wants to get voted on, then you have to put it in the system. Then you have to wait until the next cycle starts. The next cycle takes 130 blocks. Then it has to be online for 130,000 blocks, not 130 blocks, 130,000 blocks, 45 days. That's an alarm. We're gonna shut that off. Sorry for the interruption. And then and after that, the proposal can be voted on. So it could be a little bit a lengthy process, but you have a determined fixed amount of time when proposals get voted on. And we have 3 proposals that can be voted on, pretty similar like before. It's a community funding proposal. It needs 50% acceptance, and 1% of the masternodes have to vote on it. And the fee is 1%, 130,000 blocks. DFIP, 67%, so 2/3 of the masternodes have to vote for it, 2/3 of the masternodes that cast a vote. That's very important. And we need also 1% of the masternodes existing out there to cast a vote. The fee is 50 DFI. and also the same cycle, 130,000 blocks. And the emergency DFIPs, there's the only really big change, because now we need 10% of all existing masternodes to cast their vote, and the emergency DFIP only takes 3 days. So the cycle is different. So I calculated that, might be a little bit up or down, roughly 8,666 blocks. And the voting starts immediately. So if somebody would put an emergency DFIP on, everybody can do this. You just have to pay the fee. The fee is going to be a little bit higher. The fee is 1,000 DFI. And then,
little bit.
yeah, compared, I mean, at the moment it doesn't matter so much, but in the future, but it's still $500, right? A little bit more. And in the future, it could be quite pricey, but it also keeps people away who want to fool around. And then the masternodes have 3 days to vote. That's the same, At the end of the day, it works for all the proposals the same. There's gonna be kind of an informer, so there's gonna be some Twitter posting if a proposal comes online. So if you own a masternode, best is to watch the official channels, because there the voting round's gonna be announced. Unfortunately, it's not possible to post this to your masternode, and a masternode informs you, and most people are not checking their masternode anyway, so the idea was to do it on social media. So what's the process roughly? If you want to commit if you want to get funded for a CFP, let's put it like this way. So you put a Reddit post up, then you take the URL of your Reddit post. You have to post it somewhere on DeFiScan, where exactly we don't know, but there's going to be a subsection for voting. Then you will see the proposals, all the proposals that are submitted, you can check actually on the chain, because your masternode writes your vote on the chain. You have 3 options, yes, no, or neutral. Neutral becomes more relevant now, because we have a certain amount of votes that have to be voted or have to be casted, so that's very important. And everybody who casts their vote also gets actually part of the fees, because 50% of all the fees collected for the voting rounds are going to get distributed to the masternodes who have been voting. So if you don't want to move it right or left to yes or no, then you just vote neutral. You still get part of the fees, and you help to fulfill the quorum. So that's the story. It's going to be very interesting how this plays out. Everything's going to most likely happen for the next voting round. And as soon as the Hardfork is up and running, then we're going to wait for a nice number that could be divided by 130,000 blocks. And then the next voting round's going to be set. Yeah, let's see. Everybody's very positive about it. I'm looking forward to it to see. What do you think? Good change?
A good change, but will be exciting to see how it works. If it works, if we see anything not going through smoothly, it's a complete new feature towards the decentralization.
Exactly.
It's mandatory for us, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, really. So one thing I forgot to see, the payout at the beginning is going to be still manual, because the core development team just really wants to check that after the voting, really the right proposals gets paid out, because the money that left the system or left the address are out there and cannot be kind of pulled back into the address. So that's very important. But in the future, also the payout should be fully automatic after the voting cycle of 130,000 blocks.
Cool. Thank you for the insights of the next Hardfork. Then we have our notable mentions. So what happened the last week to be mentioned here?
Yeah, so we have our CoinMarketCap airdrop that was still going crazy. As I understood, it's finished now. It helped us to drum up 400,000 followers for DeFiChain on CoinMarketCap. So congratulations to everybody out there, and also thank you for everybody who signed up to follow DeFiChain on CoinMarketCap. I think it's a very important stepstone for us to get more awareness out there and also be listed on exchanges and all kind of platforms in the right way. So thank you very much. I think 400,000 followers is a really, really, really nice result. We also celebrated an anniversary, a happy 3rd DeFiChain white paper day. It was a couple of days ago. Unbelievable, the white paper was written or published like 3 years ago. So yeah, we are kind of starting to age here a little bit. Even we are still in the infancy, I think, of our project. And then there was an interview from Cointelegraph. Prasanna, one of the guys from the core development team, was interviewed, and there was a Ask Me Everything AMA session with him. We're going to link up, of course, the YouTube clip to this most likely super insightful and fun interview. And then, of course, there was a community Twitter space. They're quite regularly now, right? They're nearly on a weekly basis now. And I think on Thursday, this is actually tomorrow German time here in Singapore. It's already Thursday at 8:00 in the evening. There's gonna be the next community Twitter space. Are you gonna taking part? You've got some time.
The German community.
The German one.
Twitter space. I don't know if I take part.
Okay.
Honestly speaking, depends a little bit on also the rebuild show afterwards.
Because there's an English community Twitter space as well, right? There was one this week.
And right, this is more on the weekend, so that we can move a little bit of time to be on the right place for every time zone. The German one is in the week at the evening German time.
Cool. Now, fantastic. Okay, we've got a link. DC for sure is gonna put it up in the show notes afterwards.
Sure.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Then nearly at the end of the show, but still a lot to talk about. Our long list of the community project and the updates.
Yeah, always a highlight of the show, DC, isn't it?
Yeah, really great.
Cool. Okay, let's start with our friends from DFX. Swiss project. They reported in all purchases and sales of D tokens, like, for example, USD, D Tesla, D Coinbase. From now on DFX with 0% DFX fees. So you ask why? The answer is for the DeFiChain community. So thanks for the effort. Nice idea. Massive increase in D token utility, what they say, deposit instead of buy, withdraw instead of sell, breaking down barriers to entry even further. So they have a new hashtag created, road to PEG. So they want to support the D token system. Nice idea to lower their fees to help out here a little bit. Then please note that there's currently a 30% tax stabilization fee, what they want to kind of inform us or not inform or remind us. So if you want to withdraw the data from the D token system into crypto assets, into stable coins, you're going to pay the stabilization fee. So just bear that in mind. And DeFiChain Analytics picked up the ball. So this is Igor, and he said, okay,
it's my dashboard. I have to.
Sorry, confused. Okay, also not Igor, this is DC's dashboard, DeFiChain Analytics. Sorry, I jumped the gun here a little bit. Okay, sorry. DeFiChain Analytics, this fantastic young gentleman sitting next to me with his red shirt. You're confused, your red shirt. Brought a couple of new updates to the system. Tax stabilization fees tracked, negative interest rate for USD loans, block reward, part of this, the burn bot, and the daily burned USD via the bot. When did you do this? On the weekends?
Weekend or late evening.
Good man. Fantastic. Thanks so much. A very important part in our DeFiChain ecosystem. So if you want to track something, DC is your guy. Then Lock reported in. Lock is kind of a spin-off from DFX. So Jonas is leading this team, and they accumulated already 90 masternodes. At the moment, they are still in the beta phase, but yeah, congratulations, well done. Then we've got Igor, sorry for the confusion, Igor. DeFiChain Income said, okay, now that staking on lock.space is possible, you can also track your income on the staked DFIs on Lock, and you can see them in your DeFiChain income dashboard in the future. DeFiChain Trader, not so much of an update, but he really wants to offer support, and he sends an open invitation to all of you out there, and he says, if you want some kind of statistical analysis or aggregated data, reach out to him. His model is starting to take shape, and he would really like to push it further. So there are a lot of great benefits for the community. If you want to know anything about this project, if you need any support, if you want any data, if you want any stuff, no stupid questions out there. There's really no dumb questions. Reach out to him or to the team, and yeah, I get in touch, and he's very happy to educate and help to improve data or understanding for data on the DeFi chain even further. Cool idea. I like that. Our DeFiChain podcast, so our podcast, actually it's Paddy's podcast. Paddy, very young, super nice gentleman, doing one podcast after another. Had a very interesting guest last week, so I was actually finally on doing the interviews. Paddy, we were really struggling. Not because his questions were so difficult, but Paddy had a serious internet issue. And there was one question. So if you listen to the podcast, it's like, how did you become a lord? And I think we did this question 7 times. The internet connection didn't like that question. It was like cursed DC, you have no idea. The internet failed constantly, and we did the rest of the interview, I think 2 days later, because we couldn't get over that hurdle. It was hilarious. We were really freaking out. So I think interview was really nice. Check it out if you want. Give me feedback. I think I at least I had a blast. I had a good time. He's doing a great job. I liked also your interview. It's really, really nice. It's something different. Well done, Paddy. Awesome. We're going to link up, of course, the episode as well. And then our friends from Javlis, the friendly cash flow butler. So they said Javlis is stepping up its educational efforts. We mentioned that, I think I did it last week and the week before. So they want to do a lot of educational content, not only Javlis, what is the platform doing, but also investing in general. They start very simple. Really they try to get the people from the very beginning. What is diversification? What are asset classes? And they do some fun videos on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. They wrote blog posts. And I saw it just before the show on Instagram. It's quite hilarious. So they have different characters talking about investments. Check it out. A ton of links that DC has to upload to the to the show notes as well. I think it's 7. I think it's 7 links. Well done, guys. Great job. And then we have Vault Maxi from Kugi, version 2.4 is in beta testing, live later this week. Includes a major upgrade for the reinvesting process. You can now split your rewards into reinvesting, own vault, or even other vaults as any collateral tokens sent to any address, or even adds to liquidity mining. So yeah, the thing is growing and getting better and better. And yeah, check it out. 2.4 is ready to roll soon. Yeah, so much about the community projects this year.
You managed it. Thank you.
It's quite a lot today, huh? Unbelievable. Crazy. Cool.
Yeah. It's great to see everyone is still active in the community, building around DeFiChain. Take his or her part in the community and bring us a step ahead. And I think it will not stop at the next time, whatever the price is.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, we let it and come to the last topic of today's news show, the future date. So what is happening next here?
Highlight next week, of course, news show on Wednesday, but then the real highlights, joking aside, there's going to be 3 rebuild shows. You're going to do 2 these times. Thanks for that. You're going to interview the gentleman from Seed. DFI Seed Finder is kind of a crowdfunding platform for profit projects on DeFiChain. It's going to take part tomorrow, Thursday, German time or Central European time at 9 o'clock in the evening. Then there's gonna be an interview with My DeFiChain for their CFP. Has to be announced still the date. And I'm gonna do an interview with the DeFiChain Incubator program tomorrow. And we're gonna broadcast it as a recording tomorrow evening, Thursday, German time somewhere. Most likely after or an hour before your show, so that we can all follow the 3 top rated projects. And then, then you've got a little bit a better understanding what these projects are about.
Cool. Looking forward to it. And with this, we are at the end of today's news show. Thanks for watching everyone live. We still have some time for questions in the chat. So far, I see no questions. So please put in your question. We will answer it. If you are not watching live, thanks for watching it as a recording. Give us a like, brings the channel a little bit up, and see you then next week here in the news show.
Absolutely.
Have a great time,
Have
and
a nice
don't
evening.
watch the price.
Okay, what's the price? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No transmission.
Hey.
We've got no time. We jump right in. Sorry. Or you want to play the transmission? Wrong button.
No.
Okay. Cool. But
Everything
we've got no
fine.
question here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good. Then let's
like
say hi to some friends here. Christian.
Hi, bloody
Bloody
greetings.
greetings. I thought
Halloween was when?
I don't know. It was end of October, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, it was Monday last week.
Cryptonym. Hi. Nice to see you here. DC is also here. And Matthew is also here. Yeah, DC, what are we gonna do? Give me beside that we've got a downvote today. Unbelievable. Sorry for that. Give me a price prediction. Where are we gonna heading the next hours? Any feeling?
No idea, honestly speaking. And no feeling. I had not the chance to follow every detail what's happening around this FTX story. But it looks like the complete market is now struggling, uncertain, and everyone is studying. Even I mentioned before, Ethereum down over 20% in 24 hours. It's crazy.
If you add
project.
If you add the loss of FTT and Solana together, if you add that together, you're over 100% loss. So FTT is down 68%, Solana is down nearly 39%. This is crazy. Bitcoin just broke 17,000. So yeah, that's a time for the history books, a day for the history books for sure. Try to keep it cool out there. I think there's not much to do. Pascal said road to 50 cent. Yeah, it's possible. I think we are there. But we're doing pretty much better than a lot of other coins. But of course, I wish everybody, whatever coin you're invested in, all the best. I think on days like this, crypto community has to stand together and not, kind of put others under the table. Yeah, it's a shitty day, right, for crypto. I think it's gonna be harder with these things happening. It's gonna be harder for crypto. Regulators are gonna look even closer. I think it's not great. I think CC, you are the guy with a similar name like you. He was posting something. Even that could be a win in some way for Binance is still a loss for Binance because, it's not good to lose big players in the market. And I think it's not going to be really helpful for crypto, right? What happens here? Naja, whatever.
Short term, maybe not. Long term, I don't know. If
Maybe.
now all these not so well defined business models are washed out, because there is a reason behind. If everything would be fine and correct, we would not see it. So there is a reason, and now there's a kind of cleaning process which really hurts. But maybe in the long term it helps.
The big purge, me being a Cake user, there was a newsletter or information going out to Cake users. The Cake team said they are not related or have no connections to Alameda Research. So seems to be all good on their side. But let's see, many other companies might be involved. Next week we know more, I would say. DC, take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
You too.
Thank you. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to look at the prices. I think that's better and get some rest. Yeah. Thanks for hosting the show, DC. Have a nice evening and see you next week.
See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.